Hello and welcome everybody to Free Wheel Station. And maybe we get like the entrance theme music, and we get like the camera shot that follows along the outside of the sort of like starts at the edge of the system and passes by each of the three planets and their moons, and swings over to the station itself that you know is sort of a wheel shape with certain passages that clearly needed great deal of work and a few. And as the camera flies along the bottom, we see the wrench that's welded onto the frame on a corner, um, where it was apparently holding it together at some point. And come up on the other side, and we get the Freewheel Station logo, uh, and we drop back in to Freewheel Station, and we drop onto the deck of the ship, like maybe onto the bridge, the command deck. Um, who is on duty or who is on duty and or in the office or command deck at this point in time as we come in?
We're all on call, so I am probably in the office trying to still sort through paperwork.
Okay, so you're still
I've been
sorting.
purging the system of
Okay,
all of this horrible things and trying
right.
to do a factory reboot, but still have backups for everything to go back on there because I don't want to start fresh. I mean, that's ridiculous.
All right. So you have managed to come across the former captain or commander or admiral or whatever he called himself of this station and the minor pirate fleet that was set up here. One Captain Joth Hurlig. Uh, he's a human,
All
um,
right.
and he's one of those kinds of guys that just from what you're getting from him, like there's a lot of stuff that's just basically day to day bullshit. um, things like things like disciplining people, or talking about supply shortages or like raids or this, that, or the other. But you get the sense that this is a guy who was at once kind of brutal but also more cunning in the way that he observes the world around him than you would expect for somebody like him. um,
Okay, I need you
but
to copy and paste that dude's name into the thing so I spell it right.
so it is. He does have. There are a few things of note that for you. He does talk about a savage circle a bit. They um, he does talk about something called the savage circle. It's nothing specific. He references it a few times here and there, along with the names of a few other pirate captain, presumably pirate or criminal captains in the area. Um,
Permission to make a culture check just on the off chance?
um, okay,
Nope. Okay.
yeah. So
All right.
you don't recognize anything here specifically. Like some of these names are like there's notations in the side, there's occasional like notations or links to information that like pop out screens that are like, yeah, this guy was killed, da 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 da. This guy was blown up by a Garin cruiser along the borders of the Garin Empire. This guy this guy faced a mutiny and was jettisoned into but via escape pod into a star, or the various kinds of things like this. But from what you can gather, the Savage Circle just seems to be a relatively loose knit group of pirates and criminals who have a code of understanding in basically how to deal with each other. It's less like they are super, although it does hint that there are occasional alliances for various thises or that's, and it seems like the group's membership changes from time to time. But Joth Hurlig, Captain Joth Hurlig, apparently had some association with him, although
The
he
red
does
what?
the Savage Circle.
Savage. Why did I think red?
The Savage Circle. Um, and the Savage Circle is like they have like he's there. It does note there are notations that he turned them down once or twice, or that he had less than pleasant dealings with one or two of the membership here and there. But it does seem to hint that he had at some point come to be a part of this agreement in some way, or at least adjacent to it. It's not really clear how much he knows of this. It's a file that if you save it, you might be able to glean more from it over time. But it's kind of like reading a book that was written in ink and then dropped in the sea. Some of some of the ink has run through, and it's hard to read more than a few passages, and you're basically putting stuff together, puzzling it to get a lot of this information out. It also hints that he met he himself seems to have a certain seems to have had an opinion about the amber wreath. He mentions an elf woman that he nearly killed, that was associated with the amber wreath somehow. He doesn't explain it, and in his notes, he basically says, "Not sure why I let her convince why not sure why I let her go," you know. Um, but there's something like he kind of like drivels off on that to some extent. There's pieces that's missing. So this Captain Joth Hurlig knew a few people, had a few associations. There's so you have a bit of a like an idea on some of this.
We should find that guy and be like, hey, if you pay us, you can rent some space and still do pirate stuff for me.
Huh.
I know, but interesting.
And
Uh, Korod, could you come to the office, please? And what is that one's name? Isekai prisoner 1331. Please report to the office.
God, wow.
Why can't I remember your name?
Yeah,
Well, I know
Kieran
why.
walks in your office when you say that. It's like there's more than one.
Then we'll sort them out when they get here. So what you been doing? Okay, out of character. Did you have anything we needed to do before we hit the party stage, which is where Jester is kind of ready for?
Not really.
Okay. What about you, Scott? Tell me your character's name. I got Korod right for once. Sorry, Korod.
Yeah. But he's gonna walk in and be like,
It's gonna be like, what?
really? Really? All right,
Say it
whatever.
again.
Anyways, so I don't know. We're gonna have a party. That's all I look forward to. Let's have a party.
All right.
Why am I here?
Because we were trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh.
It's a couple hours before the party. Is everything set? Do you have all the bombs in place?
No, I was setting up a thing where I can tell stories of cool things I've done. Or might have done. Or not done.
So you're becoming a politician?
Maybe. I don't know. I've just got stories.
Okay. First governor of Free Will Station. I gotcha.
As long as you don't kiss babies.
Yeah, no kissing babies. They have germs. Now, do we know exactly who's showing up besides the kobolds that are eating us out of house and home?
I don't think like he may have sent like Percival probably sent you a partial list. Sorry.
You're fine.
He sent you a let's see. He said that you could probably expect representatives from a colony called Hemwell and a colony called Point One. He also mentioned that there's likely that where is it? He also noted that a representative of the Gemfish Trades Consortium was actually
You said Gemfest Trade Consortium?
Gemfish.
Gemfish.
Yes. So yeah. So
If you spelled Hemwell with a Y, then a pox upon you.
Consortium. There we go. He mentions that he spoke to Bettina Klimlin, but she didn't say one way or another if she was coming. Let's see.
We fly to her house.
He says, where is it?
Let's make a disguise check on our shuttle and pretend that it's a limousine shuttle and pick her up.
He said he does send that the Count Lesib and Countessa Siriva of the Velquin Shroud, of the Velquin Empire and the Velquin Shroud, happened to actually be in the system and catch wind of it.
You better spell those two, sir.
So there is, let's see. And
Karad, I believe that you and I will not want to talk for days after this party.
Really?
Not to each other, just to anyone in general.
That is a possibility.
Right. No, I don't think you and I are going to have issues. I mean, as the woman, I am going to back you up. Just in case. After all, you do have the silver tongue between the two of us.
And he said the Repurposers Guild had opted that they would show up. Arbel Gibbon Frock is going to show up. So that's the partial list of who he has sent to you, but he doesn't know what specifically who's representing like the colonies.
Let's send a wave out to what's his name? Oh, little guy. No. Wait, Arbel Gibbon Fox is the gnome. Okay.
Yeah, he's the leader of the Repurposers Guild, the owner operator, or yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I didn't put down the Repurposers Guild for him.
Yeah.
Repurposers Guild. Good. We need another chance for that one. I was caught off guard. I forgot I was 3rd level. Whatever that means.
But yeah, like you're kind of getting like, and I think maybe like if you're like, are you going to discuss anything that you found in the former captain's files with these two before we go to the party?
I relay all of that stuff that Jester said.
Wow.
Mm.
The
Sorry. I'd like to give you more, but I can't.
So I think that like ships start showing up for people that are gonna be there. There as you're kind of like getting there. There's like a shuttle, a couple of attendees you weren't expecting.
Good.
There is a group of. Let's see, there is a something called a group. Somebody from the Versped Research Collective. One
Yeah.
Dr. Sigvet. He's a Sheeran,
Yeah.
and he has a pair of androids with him that don't seem to talk much.
All right. So
One male, one female, and he kind of comes off. He seems relatively. He seems relatively unfriendly. He doesn't seem too impressed with you. He's like, and he's kind of looks around and is like, there is also the plasma scar, which looks to be.
I'm gonna greet each ship that comes in, a group of people, and be like, "Hey, let's party."
Yeah, and that's probably like where Dr. Sigvet is just kind of looks at you and looks around at the station and says, and is just like, and communicates telepathically to you. Very well, take us to where the party is to be held. And
So this gentleman here, he'll take you there. I'm the greeting party, but he'll take you to where the thing is, and like one of the little random people that we got on the station will be like, "Okay, follow me."
oh my, you're sending ninjas to be the diplomat?
Oh
no.
he's not
He's just escorting them, and then they'll be there. And then once everybody arrives, then we'll make it
Everyone
there.
is this, buddy. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't do it again.
um the next to arrive is like the is the representative from a colony called Himwell. He's an Oread named Grannon, and he kind of like when he comes off, he kind of looks around and his. I think that like his skin comes off as a relatively like has a polished stone look to it, almost marble, but there's still something rugged about it all the same. Like his facial features are shaped like you would expect a blockier, sort of like, um, a sort of a blockier look to it. But because the skin looks so smoothed out like marble, it creates a very different look. But he comes off and looks around, and he's got a small contingent with him, and he's kind of like, and after him is an android called from the Point One colony. The android's name is Purpose of Self, and seems to be as about as dismissive as the Versped Research Collective, Dr. Sigvit was.
Right. Well, I can write all those words. There were at least two people that you didn't spell for me, so I'm going to spell them wrong if you don't.
So, Dr. Sigvet of the Vespid Research Collective.
Thank you. Hello. Luckily,
there is Grannon of Himwell Colony and purpose.
Yes, I can do purpose of self, so you don't have to.
Okay.
But
Uh,
yeah.
there is a ship that docks called the Plasma Scar. You're gathering that they are pirates or smugglers or something. It's not really clear. With their captain, who is a Patra named Tawi. And then, of course, Arbel Gibbonfrock shows up. The there is a representative, the representative of the Gemfish Trade Consortium is named Keskep. Is a Shirin woman.
Nice.
There is, let's see, of course, the Count and the Countess show up. And a representative of the Order of Kavoy. And he is named Prevbrellis.
Crabbrella. No, Crabbrellis. Gotcha.
And from what you can, and he is and his entire contingent are all Borai. And they are all dressed like an order of knights. They have a knighthood sort of like feel to them.
I like it.
And of course, Percival Worthy himself shows up, obviously.
I look at Karad, and I'm like, these are the ones we need to impress. They already have hearts.
It's like, yeah. There is, and you're still waiting on whether or not Bettina Klemlin is going to show. But you have your choice of, who you want to try to talk to and kind of like figure out more. The Count and the Countess are both Svartalvar. They are wearing dark goggles in your station. They do request the lights lower in a couple of areas for their sake. They have a Kayal woman with them. So where do you want to start?
Karad, what do you think? Hey, buddy, everybody's here for now. If anybody else shows up, you can go back and greet them.
Gotcha.
Click.
I come back to the party.
And of course, Captain Krex and the Lightning Dragons crew of the Lightning Dragon are already there. You have like a small flotilla of ships for all these representatives kind of waiting out there. Only a couple of them can be docked at a time, and I'm assuming your shuttle is docked to one of your ports.
Yes, making it even more hard. Besides, I'm the only one that can drive, remember?
Yeah.
But
Oh, we could drive. We just can't do it very well.
so let's start with our special needs people. We have the lighting adjusted. In fact, go fix the lighting in these corners so that these nice people can have a dark place to be. Well, affirmative. And they're like, there you guys go. I hope that makes things a little bit easier in here. And if worse comes to worse, We do have something decent that we could turn the lights off in for you guys to enjoy if you need your own personal space.
The lowered lights and the goggles should do it for now. Count Lesso says, and like the
And I
manner of
do. Oh. Karad, do you want to be the one that does this talk because you have better diplomacy than I do?
Do I really have better diplomacy than you?
I'm pretty sure that was why you ended up having to do it last time. Let's see. I have a total of 8 in diplomacy.
I have a total of 5.
Oh. Very well. Would you
I
like
just
to back
happened
me
to
up?
roll good that day.
Okay.
And this is one of those deals where, like, again, they seem to be mostly indifferent to you at the moment. If you want to try to change their opinion of you, you can try to roll on that. But they may or may not do business based on their own particular goals and needs,
I
regardless of
realize
the role.
that
So,
regardless if they do business with this, they know people that might.
so are you?
And we started with these people, so I mean, at worst, we piss them off and they kill us. Rod, would you like to help on this roll?
I will gladly help. You're going diplomacy, right?
Yes. Woo! I don't know if that was enough. If it was, it's 24. Because, okay,
Um,
that reminds me. I have a glimmer generator on my armor. So whether they can tell or not, I'm in a lacy black dress and I curtsy and bow because I know how to do this.
So their manner of dress speaks to like very like royal imperial sort of designs and whatnot. Like it reminds you of those kinds of things that you would see in those sorts of situations. And they look at you and they're like, and the count has rather long, has rather long shock white hair, and the countess has has almost a mirrored reflection in the fact that she has long dark hair, and whereas he has a shock of black running through his white, she has a black a bit of white running through her black. And they kind of look at you and they're like they kind of look at each other and they're like, perhaps we can get to the point. It says they're like, who are you, and what exactly are you doing here?
Oh, blessed be. Grandpa still doesn't have a name. Oof. I am the great great granddaughter of Dignornath Nirna. I spelt it for you.
Okay. They kind of look at each other like, who?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, they're not from the Pact Worlds.
I understand that.
Yeah,
In the Pact worlds, my grandfather was probably considered someone. Was considered someone that could get things done. I've been sent here to do the same, and it's probably not things that are necessarily up your alley. But as it goes, we're glad to have you here. Try the fare. We have some For you, probably subpar wine, but other people will find it quite tasty.
The account looks at the wine and sort of like swirls, and he looks like he looks like he's kind of judging it and not pleasantly. And the countess
I
speaks
understand
up,
that.
and she's like, it was my understanding that there was some business that you were attempting to run out of this decrepit old.
Tin can, I believe, is the word you're looking for.
Well, I was going to call it garbage, but we're searching for a word that was a little more polite.
Uh,
And
no, I agree with you 100%. I've been given a heap to turn into a gold mine, and we'll see what happens. And then I curtsy again, and I'm like, I will leave you to it. Enjoy the party. And
eh,
now it's
okay,
someone else's turn,
all right.
because otherwise I'm just talking. Hey, buddy, what you doing? Say, I know you didn't already take your wife to work.
So
Kib,
what?
that's the word. Kib,
What?
what are you doing?
I was just talking to this person. They seemed kind of cool.
Okay, you have to pick from that list that's above. Do not pick. Actually, you should talk to purpose of self.
Okay, I'll randomly talk to that person. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
All right, so this is the an android, and they came with other androids. They're kind of looking across the way at the contingent from from the Versbed Research Collective. And they don't seem particularly pleased. Um, Purpose of Self looks down at you and says is like, what exactly? He was like, I am attempting to determine why it is that Captain Worthy decided that we needed to send a representative here. I'm further attempting to determine why the council chose me to be the one to be the representative.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why people make choices, but I make my choices because it's fun and we can do things. Like we explore things, develop things, make things better. And maybe they think you can make things better. So you work with us, we make things better for you, you make things better for us, and everything gets better. Yay.
He's like, work with you. Do exactly what?
That is a very good question. I wish I had a clue. Like, okay, so I don't know. They have plans. They said this. We talked about once going out collecting bodies. Like people that have died in wars, you can take their bodies, bring them back, put them in this little thing, and then recycle them into something else. It's kind of fun thing to do.
All right. I'm going to need a diplomacy check here.
I love the fact that this is so hilarious that Mrs. Palmetier is giggling in the background.
Yeah, he looks
Oh
at
my
you.
gosh.
He looks at you. He looks at you. And he's like, "So I'm basically just here to waste my time." He's like, "Mm," he's like, "You know what? I don't need to be here." And he pulls out his comm unit and he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready for pickup. I don't think this is a good idea."
All right, thanks for your time. That was cool conversation. See you on the floor.
Which person was this?
This was
That
the
was
representative from point one. Yeah,
Um,
this was
you get a
himself.
text, Karad, and it says, "See, I told you so. You owe me 5 credits."
Transferring now.
Uh, mm, okay, so actually, I guess. Well, I mean, why wouldn't we see it? All right,
Yeah,
so
I'm not completely quiet about my conversation. I'm kind of like,
that's true. You
this
are
is what happened. Yeah, exactly.
Mm. So if you were paying attention, at the very least, I cringe. Face palm like the card. And then
Karat's
you get
just
a
like
text on
shaking
your
his
phone
head.
that says, "Hey, come here."
What's that?
I need you to go fight the kobolds for Superior.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I do say that though, but then I say I'm just kidding. So what you doing over there? Were you talking to people?
Yeah, talk to the android dude. He was kind of
How'd that go?
offity. He
Mm,
didn't seem like he wanted to be here in the first place, so no matter what I said, he still wasn't going to be happy and wanting to stay. So I just told him
I
random
see.
things,
All right.
and he wasn't happy about that. Apparently, he's ready for pickup. So,
So
eh.
remember how the pirates put you into the brig?
Right, because I couldn't
I don't
repair the
remember
thing
if we
fast
actually
enough.
talked about the reason, but either way. So we need to make friends with as many of these people as possible.
Oh,
And you have done a great job as the greeter, but as far as the wingman, I don't
yeah,
exactly know what that person was about, but they could have got us money, which gets you money, which makes you rich, which in turn makes us rich enough that eventually maybe we can do something better here. And that's the plan. So what I need you to do is if they talk shop with you, tell them that we run a pleasant upgrade company that specializes in non-standardized upgrades. And if they need to know more, they can come to Karad, who is going to be the one working on them for such things, or myself for better instructions on what's going on. And if you do that,
right. He's the doctor dude. He'll make the upgrades for people. Got it. And
yes,
you're better at
I'm the
talking
one
to
who's
people than
talking
I am. Got it.
a little bit. Now, I want you to know you've done a good job. Uh, you get a text crowd that says, "We may have to kill it later and throw it in the corpse recycler."
You get a text back. That's what I've been saying all along.
Mm.
uh,
Oh, it's time for Scott to take his wife to work.
so, who do you guys want to try to talk to next?
I believe it's Karad that has a turn coming to try to influence somebody. I'm just saying, if you pick the people that already have necrographs because they're Barai, I would like to, at the very least, help with that one.
You can check them to see if they're willing to do business before attempting to influence their attitude. Some of them I will just straight ask for a roll, but as far as the business goes, because some of them you do have to pass a roll to do business, but some of them it doesn't matter one way or the other.
And I speak Eladrian, so.
So yeah.
But,
So you guys want to talk to
what were
the?
you thinking, Karad?
Karat's gonna go to the doctor's sick vet.
Oh, you're going to talk to
Oh,
Dr.
even better.
Sigvit? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So the Sheeran is the Sheeran, man is standing there. He's got two, not very talkative androids with him, and Dr. Sigvit kind of looks around, it sees you coming. I think maybe he's engaged in conversation with Representative Grannon from Himwell at the moment, but as you kind of walk up, he like Grannon sort of like goes to excuse himself. I think maybe he's actually going to probably go speak to Purpose of Self, who's leaving. Maybe he has something to talk to him about. I don't know. Um,
Purple, get up a
like
minute.
hey, I want to talk to you before you leave, before you bone out of here. Um, but yeah, Dr. Sigvit kind of turns and looks at you. He's like, he's like, I'm Dr. Sigvit. He pretty much he speaks to you telepathically. He's like,
Hmm.
I'm Dr. Sigvit of the Vespid Research Collective. And who are you?
In Sheeran, I'm Dr. Kurad, the medical officer of this place.
Medical. Hmm. He goes, that's a very that's a very daunting task, I'm certain, given the state of the station.
Yes, categorizing everything that's been left is a bit of a chore, but I would be happy to eventually be able to do my work and my research.
He says, wouldn't we all? He goes, he's like, do you, we've never heard of you. What exactly are you here for? We knew what the pirates that were here before were doing. But Captain Worthy was rather scarce on details as to what you're doing here.
We're, we're, we are hoping, seeing the equipment that is here, to be in the augmentation business for people.
He's like, he kind of he looks at you. He's like, augmentations, and like he looks over and he looks at both of the both. He looks briefly at the androids. Um, Turns back to you, and he's like, what kind of augmentations?
Well, I'm quite capable of doing almost any, but my Oxian friend has a particular flavor he likes doing, or she likes doing, sorry.
It's okay. I love you still.
He looks at you expectantly.
Well, we do have a corpse recycler here, and we're both very versed on how to reuse parts.
He's and he looks at you, and he give me a sense motive check here. You immediately his reaction. You immediately realize what's going on here. He's being unfriendly because he appears to have suspected something all along. And there's a moment where it seems like that moment where your suspicions were confirmed, and had you realize exactly what it is. The Versped Research Collective. It makes sense that if the that somebody who is being friendly, who is unfriendly, and seems to have come here with suspicions about you, it makes sense that they're probably in a similar business, and therefore it would explain the unfriendly attitude as being somebody who sees you as a rival, who sees you as rivals in some way.
Hmm.
Or at the very least, competition in some way.
Uh,
You're
wah, wah.
you can attempt to influence their attitude towards you and take it from unfriendly to indifferent, but that will require a diplomacy roll.
If you can roll high enough, you can convince them that we're not a threat. If you roll low enough, we're threatening them, and that's amazing too.
That just would lead to a whole pile of hilarity.
Do I need to
No,
help?
probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
No, my dear friend. There's no need for
Got a 19.
such mannerisms. I'm sure we could work something out together. There's no need to be rivals.
What do you know? It was like he kind of looks at you and he kind of looks at you and says, "I don't think there is any business that we have with each other." He goes, uh, he goes, he says, uh, maybe for the time being, if you're staying in your lane, you're not you're not a. I think his attitude kind of goes from, you know what? Perhaps you're not quite he's like, perhaps you're not well enough set up to be too concerning. He says, and he kinds of his attitude shifts. Like he's gone from being distinctly unfriendly to more or less indifferent about you. Like it's clear that like you're not going to be able to do business with them, but they're not necessarily going to attack your operations or go after you specifically unless you give them ample reason to. Um,
I'll give it to about level 17. We'll give them reasons.
so you know, um,
Now I can finally put them in the list.
they may or may not be. Uh, they may or may not
Pardon me.
grow with you guys or grow parallel to you guys, or somebody else might stomp them out. You never know. Um, let's see. That leaves Plasma Scar, Hemwell, Arbel Gibbon Frock, and the Order of Kavoy, and the Gemfish Trade Consortium.
Well, now that I'm back with you, let's go ahead and talk to the Borai.
You talk to the Order of Kavoy? Okay. Yeah. So, you see Prev Brelis, you catch up with Brelis as he's as he's sort of walking away from the Count and Countess of the Velquin Empire, Count Lesib and Countess Cerivia.
Oh,
Ceriva.
the ones that are already like, oh, the low people brought us here.
Yeah, but he's walking away from them, and sort of maybe walking back towards the rest of his contingent. He's got like his armor is extremely polished. He's got like the symbol of his order on there, and he kind of uh, and he's carrying like a plasma sword or something, or I don't know, he's carrying some sort of energy weapon. What is like a good lower level? Anyway, but he's kind of headed back towards his contingent.
Right.
And he has
All right, dear. I whisper back to you. All right, dear. I need you to back me up for this. And
yeah,
perfect Eladrian, I say it is always wondrous to meet someone already vested in the culture as I.
He looks at
Good
you and
evening.
yeah, and I think he's wearing like he's got like a sort of a military haircut, and he kind of turns around and looks at you. He had been obviously was human in life, um, and he gives you a polite bow or a polite salute, and he says, he goes, uh, he says, I am Prev Brelis. I am the Sentinel Commander in charge of the chapter, the Drage System chapter of the Order of Kavoy. He, he says, I had heard there was a new group taking over from those pirates that had stationed here before, but I wasn't aware that there was anybody here that was going to be speaking Elibrian. He goes, I only speak it because I'm a bit more I've studied it. Most of my contingent, we actually come from different parts of the frontier. But I
Hmm.
did do some study on Eox. I went there to learn with a group of soldiers there at ways of warfare. Uh,
I see.
s- says he goes, what exactly? He goes, and what brings you out to this chaotic and much endangered sector of the galaxy.
Hmm. So sorry, I'm trying to think this out. He actually seems a little more lawful good than I thought he'd be.
Eh, or
Eh,
maybe he just has a particular sense of honor.
either way.
But
So let's see. I am. We are but humble purveyors of new parts and then we specialize in parts specifically for yourself and the others of your order.
hmm, he goes. He goes. Have you heard of our order before?
I'm gonna be honest with you, no,
Ah,
but we are new to the system.
and he says, "Will allow me to. It will allow me to give you a brief history in
Please.
our order. The Order of Kavoy was formed by our patron Aridin Kavoy. We are sworn to protect the galaxy against our own kind. There are a great many undead out there that are such as the Bone Fleet and other terrors that need not mentioned at this point, that would seek to crush out our more living companions. Oh, well, we are a shield against that, lest all living beings believe that all of those that are a bit past that are 201 evil. We are not, and therefore we have deemed that it is that our patron deemed that there should need be an order that shields the living against the more genocidal of our kind. He goes, says, that said, we have, he says, replacement parts. He says, if you are talking about necrographs, you need feel no shame in that. They are as much a part of the life of those of us who are undead or, partially undead at least, as the living, to cling to their biological and he nods towards the androids with with Dr. Sigvit, or androids with their mechanical upgrades, cybernetics and such. It's a natural part. We have some interest in this.
Excellent.
Uh,
Well, unfortunately, I have others to talk to. Since I'm new in town, I'm still trying to meet everyone. It was
all right.
wonderful to meet you, and I hope to see you again soon.
All right. Cool.
Well, little buddy, you're back, kid. What are you doing?
And what is Kib up to at this point?
He's on silent. That's what he
Behind.
is.
I was standing
He's like, I'm
behind
back,
y'all.
but I'm not going to pay attention.
Oh, standing behind. All
I'm
right.
just standing behind y'all and just letting y'all talk, and then
Oh, is he posting
like
on Discord
mentally.
now?
What?
Yeah. Okay. All
Okay.
right. So, yeah. That leaves the Gemfish Trade Consortium, the Repurposers Guild, and
Let's see if we can.
Himwell and the Plasma Scar.
Oh, wait. This one's for Scott.
I don't know. I kind of feel like talking to fish people.
Kib, who do you want to talk to?
The fish, whatever. What was it?
The Gemfish Trade Consortium?
Yeah.
Why do I not hear him?
I don't know why you don't hear him.
I hear him perfectly fine.
Okay, well, then I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, so the representative for the Gemfish Trade Consortium is Keskip. She is a Sheeran, and I will reiterate to you what I iterated to them. It is possible for you to attempt to work out a deal before trying to roll the DC on some of these. But I think this one you actually do need to roll against the DC. Yeah. So this
Ask
is,
someone for help.
but yeah. But Keskip appears to be, they're dressed well enough for a interstellar merchant of sorts. They have, what look to be fairly well trained bodyguards.
Hi, how you doing?
I still can't
You
hear
having
him.
fun?
That's weird.
And
Doing good?
you
Oh,
hear in
now I
your
am.
you hear in your head, I, yes, this appears to be an interesting gathering of sorts. A number of individuals I wasn't expecting to see here, as well as a few that I did. She's like,
I feel the same way. Like I've been on this station for a while, in and out, whatever. And most of these people I don't know, but some of them are kind of cool, but whatever. Didn't expect most of them, but hey, it's always fun to meet new people. Right?
am I indeed. So am I to take it that you are one of our hosts then?
One of three, yeah.
Ah, I am Keskip. I represent the Gemfish Trade Consortium. We've been attempting to, we've been starting to do more business out here on the Dorelium frontier. It's like, what exactly are your, what exactly are your, is your business? I was to understand that there was some business here.
So what we do is upgrades, right?
Upgrades.
Yeah.
What kind of upgrades?
So
Like for armors, starships, weapons?
the doctor dude over there, he knows more about the upgrades and how the operations go and whatnot. And then that girl over there, she's kind of cool. She has like the exact detailed information on how the upgrades work and how they get applied and what people learn and how what would be good with the upgrade and what wouldn't be good with the upgrade and how things work together and all that. I don't know. You got the doctor doing the upgrades and then her doing the other stuff. The actual talk. I'm trying. I'm learning.
I
Yeah.
see. Um, she's like, like, so telling me that it would be better for me to speak with one of them.
I've been advised that it would be.
Ah, very well. Would you care to introduce me to one of your compatriots?
Okay, let's go say hi to the doctor. Dr. Cruad? Crud?
Gerard.
Crud? Something like that. Crude.
That's
Crud.
better.
We'll go say hi to him. He's kind of cool. He's kind of quiet, but he's kind of cool. He's really quiet. All right, let's go.
Yeah. She sort of follows you as you're going. You realize that somehow you have lost Kurad in the crowd. You're not entirely certain where. Brian went to go get a drink. Shh. um, yeah, but you can see where.
Disrespect.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then you see Kurad. Correct.
I thought he was over here. Oh no, he's over there. Okay,
Yeah.
we got this. I know where people are at. Let's go. What's
Yeah.
that?
Kib is bringing the representative from the Gemfish Trade Consortium to in your direction.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So this person had questions about what upgrades are, and I was told that if he was the doctor, Mr. Dude, you can fill them in the exact details of what the upgrades are, and then maybe I'll go find the other one. What's his name? I don't know. I'll go find her.
Yeah.
I hope he wasn't annoying too much.
A little high-spirited. So Captain Percival Worthy told me that you were attempting to set up a business here. It's rather humble beginnings, and your friend there, Kib, seems to have tells me that you do upgrades. Sounded like if you're a doctor, then I'm guessing some sort of augmentations.
Yes, really, any kind of augmentation, but our specialty deals with actual body parts.
Hmm. Are you talking about biological implants, necrograft, cybernetics?
Mainly necrographs would be our specialty, but I can
Hmm.
do any of the others.
It's like she's like, well, we are looking for business partners. Why would I do what? Convince me why I should do business. Why the Gemfish Trade Consortium should do business with your organization?
First and foremost, we're new and upcoming. We will bring a new perspective on such upgrades. And let's just say it's a passion of ours.
Go ahead and give me a diplomacy roll.
Can I
Oh,
help?
no.
And
Show up?
if somebody wants, yeah, if you want to help, you can do a help roll.
Aw,
At the
that was
time she
Andy's
shows
help.
up, bring her over.
Oof. It's like,
Yeah, it's an oof.
yeah, she's like, I don't think that this is a particularly good fit for our business model at this time. She's like, although I will keep an ear out for your progress, and like you're getting the idea that she just really wasn't sold on it. Like it didn't seem to insult her, but it also kind of didn't. But it
It
also
wasn't
really,
impressive enough.
yeah, it wasn't an impressive enough sales pitch to her. It like you have a feeling that you may get an opportunity to try again some at some later date after you've proven yourself a bit more. But um, they're uh, they're uh, they're not necessarily looking to yeah at this
Yeah.
point. Um, and you get I think you probably get an alert all at the same time from Crinville, who's like working in ops, that Bettina Clemland's shuttle has arrived.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay.
Hey, I'll be down to greet her.
Don't
All right,
you go
good.
anywhere.
What? I know I'm 0-2, but it's all right. I'm just gonna say hi. Greet her like I did
Yeah.
everybody else, right?
But for this one, send Colovian to take her the rest of the way. That's the elf girl.
All right, elf person,
Not Nimbus.
let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When the like you get there in the airlock, like first things first, like the bodyguards that come out first look extraordinarily like professional. Like they look like the Gemfish Trade Consortium, like their guards look like they were pretty polished professional, but these guys, look like they look like they're no shit. They're basically no shit kind of fucking guards. Um, and when she comes strolling off, Bettina Clemland comes off in a very smart black business suit. And her hair is very well done, however, like very, very styled. Um, and there is like an element of, it's very businesslike, but there is that element of a small element of pomp to it as well. And she's got and there is an elf woman that comes out beside her who is dressed in just like this really extravagant dress. It's just like really just looks like it's made out of like some kind of incredibly fine silk, some kind of incredibly fine, with like precious metal filigrees. It's like this yellow dress with like silver with silver linings, with silver accent pieces and stuff here and there. And she has in her hair her clip for her hair is like a bow made out of amber, uh, uh kind of situation. um and the two of them, as they're coming out, they seem to be um there is a bit of a discussion going on, that you seem to be in the middle of. And maybe Bettina, as the airlock opens, is like, "Look, uh, perhaps we should table this for for a little bit later. I'm curious as to what this is all about." And she kind of looks around and looks down and sees you, and your escort person. She's like, she's like,
Hello, how you doing? Welcome.
she gives like the faintest of smiles that couldn't be any more than surface deep. And she's like, "Bettina Clemlin, I assume our hosts are around somewhere."
Yeah, I'm a third of them, but I'm here to greet you, and the other 2/3 of us aren't at the party. And this elf person we'll take you to the party while I get things situated here, and then I'll meet you back down there later. Right? Good.
She is kind of like, she's like, she goes, only one of you. Hmm. She goes, very well, and looks at the, your guide that you pointed her to. Lead on then, and the elf, the
Well
elf
then,
woman, the elf woman does not pay you any heed whatsoever, Kib, continuing to focus on and apparently focused mostly on Bettina Clemlin.
Like, I go up to one of the guards and be like, all right, you guys all set? You got this locked down? You're good? You
Yeah,
guys are so professional. I love it. You're great. Keep up the good work. See you later.
yeah, you just got like they kind of look at it, like like maybe the front of their helmets have like that glass sort of shielding effect, so like it's hard to read any expression behind it. But they kind of like their body language probably has that stern demeanor of as always watching for a threat and whatnot. And you would guess probably that you're damn certain that both the dress that the elf woman wore and especially Bettina's suit are armored clothing. Like those are high end functional as both business slash casual wear and armor. So they're she's clearly you know got herself fairly covered as far as protection goes, but and looks as if she is not worried about it anyway. Despite the fact that she's got all this extra stuff. But yeah, I think it isn't long before you see Bettina Clemlin enter. There's no mistaking who this person is. Like even though you've never actually seen her before, from the way that she was described by Percival Worthy, that she couldn't be anybody else. There you see her and she's just like, and the reaction that other people in the room have to her belies belies their apparent disinterest, because if you look close enough, all of them seem to be curious about what she's doing and why she's here. And she kind of looks around and maybe says something to your guide that you had send her up here, and begins moving towards and kind of like I think she goes towards the probably goes and finds like somebody that's serving drinks and like grabs a glass of wine. The elf woman that follows behind her seems to be trying to talk to her. They seem to be having a discussion, although Bettina reads as being somewhat indifferent to the discussion for the most part. But yeah, she is told she seems to be scanning the room to some extent,
oh,
casually, very casually. Yeah.
I hide behind a plant briefly.
Hide behind a plant briefly.
Yeah, briefly.
Better
So
not be Fern.
it's not. It's tropical, but it's not a tropical fern. So, you get a text. It says, "All right, let's do this." Hello, welcome to the party in the tin can, also known as Free Will Station. Thank you for showing up. We are Lichdom Corporation, and we thank you for this audience.
And she kind of like you get the impression that you've walked up and sort of in the middle of this conversation. She goes,
I
and she
do
kind of
say
Yeah, and
out
she
of the
yeah,
range that would make me feel like a threat to the person in the yellow dress.
right. Oh, yeah, yeah. And as you she nods an acknowledgement as you approach. The Bettina does, and you walk up in time to hear and she turns around and she goes, "For example, would your illustrious group of friends say offer membership to our fine hosts here? No offense." And the elf woman goes, "I'm sorry, but I fear that our hosts are an unknown element and not quite the level of, well, the status that we normally that we normally accept into our organization. It's a well, you know how it is. It's exclusivity comes with, well, exclusivity. After all, the fewer people that know of your joys when you're not in the boardroom, the better, yes?" And Bettina goes, kind of chuckles. She says, and she laughs as she goes, "You do seem a bit more like a travel agency to me. Your commercials are well too polished. Mm, They are quite amusing, don't get me wrong. And forgive me, I do not mean to be rude." She's like, "Bettina Clemlin. And you are?"
I am Philip Defoe.
"Ah, yes." And she's like, "Lichdom Corporation, you say?"
That is
She goes,
correct.
"What exactly is it that the Lichdom Corporation is doing with this uh, rather storied piece of junk?"
Yes, it is a tin can. So, we at Lichstrom Corporation specialize in graphs of all sorts. But our super specialty is necrographs. We have all the proper things to make it as cheap as possible. Other than that, we are also renting space to appropriate parties at this time, and we are in a short-term collaboration with man, why can't I remember his name? One moment. Percival? No, not Percival. Our benefactor that was here when we got here. What's his name?
Isig,
Yeah, I see.
the Brimstone Syndicate.
Yeah, we are currently in a short-term contract with those guys.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I know Isaac. I've had a few dealings with him. Sort of under the table and indirect. A bit unruly for my taste, but he can get the occasional job done.
Mm.
And he
Yeah.
helped you, and he's the one that helped you get set up out here, I take it?
Yes, he owed a member of my family a favor.
I see. He says, she goes, "And I assume you wanted to meet with me because, so quite frankly, I am the biggest fish in the next few systems."
Not only that, but I am a girl who comes from a certain want in life. And this place is a trash can. And since you are the biggest fish, as you say, if I do need something appropriate, you're probably the only one that could help me. And if there's something we can ever do for you, I would be glad to.
She's like, and she kind of says, "I will bear that in mind. I will be watching, of course. If
I'm
you
told that's what you do.
says, if I, we'll see how effective you are at handling your business before we make any commitments of any sort of arrangements.
Mm.
But I do hope that you prove to be as capable as most of Isig's friends happen to be. I will give you a free piece of warning here. Most of these people you see in here are in some form or another sharks. Now, if you don't know what sharks are, they're rather nasty, predatory fish that can take a arm or a leg or even half of a torso off of a human-sized being. It's often used to describe people who are predatory in nature. Says some of these folks here are fine, hard-working people, I suppose, for whatever that's worth, and some of them are trying to make a buck just like you.
Mm.
I'd be wary. She says, oh, and the former captain of this place still has a few holdouts that like to get their hands on those that took the place from him, and a few friends that like to avenge their friend. You might keep your eye out.
Yes. Thank you for the information. Enjoy the party,
Yeah.
says Keith.
And she says, oh, and have you met? Let me see where I gotta find them. Where is she? And this is, and by the way, she says, and she says, and might I introduce you to Cordial Hand Netrine of the Amber Wreath? And
Bum
she
bum bum.
and she says, she's like, uh, I'm afraid Netrine has been attempting to convince me to join her group of friends. I don't currently have time for such distractions. And Netrine says, and says, she's like, Netrine here believes that only people of a certain pedigree or level of success in their bank account deserve to be rewarded for whatever it is they may have done to get there, or not done. Some cases born into it, and and Netrine blushes a little bit, and she says, "It's not what you think it is. We simply wish to help those who are looking for luxury services and items, and who can pay for them the experiences that they can't get anywhere else." And uh, and she kind of looks at it. She kind of looks at the three of you, and she's like, she's like, but if Miss Clemlin thinks that you're worth watching, perhaps one day you will make your way. You will have enough money to afford the services that our organization provides access to.
I see.
And you do recognize the voice. Like, it's a little bit more conversational here, but it's clearly the same voiceover that was used in the advertisement for the Amber Wreath that you saw in the computers.
Mm. I text that Karad. Is this the chick from that like commercial?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Listen to the voice.
Yeah.
Mm.
But she's, you know, they're like she's willing to make semi-witty conversation for as long as you like, but you get the impression that she's likely to deflect a lot of direct questions.
Right.
She
No, that's
seems
fine.
she seems like the kind of person who's going to give you more sales pitch than substance.
Right. She was already like, "Oh no, these people they can't afford it. What if I had that money? I don't, but what if I did?" She would have lost the sale. All right, where were we? So we have other people still. Who's left?
You have the cat. You have let's see, where is it? You have the captain of the plasma scar. You have Arbol Gibbonfrock from the Repurposers Guild,
Let's deal with Arbol next.
and you have the representative from the Hemwell colony.
Yes.
So you would go talk to Arbol. All right.
Yeah.
I think Arbol is he's at the buffet, kind of picking at the at the food. Like he doesn't seem like he, he and he's kind of just like getting himself some hors d'oeuvres and whatnot where you find him. Um, maybe he's kind of like got a question. Maybe he's got a suspicious eye towards Captain Krex and the crew of the Lightning Dragon to some extent.
Greetings, Captain.
And he's like,
We meet in the flesh, so to speak.
yeah. Captain Worthy said he might be worth knowing you. And it says, so, what are you doing out here? You said
I
you
made
were.
them.
Upgrades.
He kind of looks over at Kib. And he's like,
This is Kib. He's 1/3 of this place.
yeah, he looks at it and goes, yeah, he's been a part of this place for a year or so. He's like,
He came with the place. He was literally part of the sale.
I see. And he's like, and he, he's like, so, let's talk turkey then.
Or
You're,
chicken.
Excellent.
he says,
Or ham.
he says, you're, says, you, got famous family. He goes, you got famous family, pulled some strings, got you a space station out here, and you're gonna just set up and do upgrades? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep. Pretty much.
Hirad,
Sorry.
give me one. I need a help check.
Okay.
And how does Kurod help too?
Ha.
I don't think there's any help I'd be able to give you.
Hang on, let me look. I know I'm only 3rd level, but I swear I have something. Nope. You might be able to fucking punch me in the mouth or something.
Yeah. I think he looks at you, he's like, yeah, I don't really have much need for that kind of
Upgrade.
work. For that kind of work. And he's like, and as a matter of fact, he's like, and he kind of looks at you, he's like, so my understanding is you're out here because you fucked up. And you
Ah,
know what?
see, now you have the right story. Go on.
He says, he
Yes,
says,
I did.
he's like, so you're out here, what? Because you fucked up? You know why I'm out here? I'm out here because I fucking chose to be. Because the Gibble Frogs, along the rest of the Gibbon Frogs, forgot how to roll up their sleeves and do the hard work when it needs to be done. That's why I came out here, because I still know how to do that. He goes, you're just some spoiled rich kid who got handed some shit. He's like, I don't really. He's like, I don't know that we have a whole lot that we need to talk about.
All right.
He's like, and he
Have a blessed day.
he 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 focuses on the fact that there is a vast difference in why you're here and he's here. But yeah,
He's kind of entertaining. But
hey,
have a nice day.
Hey, I apologize. I've done the worst today at impressing people.
I do. We all have been little. Sport. Hey, we're starting out. We're not all that grand, but hey, we're having fun. At least I'm having fun.
you
I'm
still
talking to a lot of people. Let's
you
talk
still
to the next person.
you still have the representative from the Hemwell colony and the captain of the Plasma Scar, Tawi.
Let's save him well till last. Howie, how's it going?
Yeah, so she seems to be she seems to be having a relatively okay time. What's this I put in the corner here? Oh, okay. Yeah. She's like, I and what do you want then? Yeah, he says, I was told that it was a place that this was a place where I needed to be to find potential work and potential business. She's like, so what is it then? Like,
It's a little bit of both. We provide services and we also provide storage capacity, as well as healing, as well as, and I list off all the things.
You
she's
blow
like,
up the
And these are the
bodies, we
things
take them.
that
she's
too.
like, so you're looking for someone to take advantage of some healing and some various other services. I'll tell you what. I didn't care who's running the station one way or another. I've had a agreement with others in the past, including your predecessors here. But I figure if you're fair enough with it, we can do a certain amount of business. But that's all it is. It's business, right?
Sounds good.
It's like, I could use a place where we could get some work done on our ship, perhaps a little R&R, maybe a few, maybe be able to refuel, that sort of thing. So
Well, we have some of that.
this is
I can fix things.
like,
I can fix things.
says,
Yeah. We all
and
can fix things.
I suppose there may be a member of my crew once here or there, depending on who's working with me, that might want to take advantage of your services of upgrades. Not exactly my thing, but you never know. Sometimes the people you get on in your crew, a little bit different. She's like,
Tell me about it.
so you can so basically you're reading her as being indifferent but willing to do business. Like she would do business. She and her crew will do business with you, but they don't really have a lot of stake in it.
Right.
You can attempt to try to change her attitude towards you, or you can and risk it, or you can leave it here as an indifferent business arrangement.
I think we should leave it right where it is.
All right. So they
That one has me kind of spooked. I mean, I got a 20 when I needed it, but
yeah.
and of course it was with the guy that I was trying to re-impress because I hadn't done a good job the last time.
Yeah,
I can't be friends with gnomes apparently.
uh, so you still have the representative from the Hemwell colony, Grannon, the Oread.
Well, Karad, this seems to be a mountain kind of boy. Maybe you should talk to him first. I'll stay here with Kid and back you up if you need to.
I see. Well, we can try.
All right. So how do you approach this guy?
Guns blazing, screaming at the top of my lungs. No, never.
Awesome. Give me some initiative checks. Some initiative rolls.
No.
If it was going to have gone down like that, it would have been the second that Bettina got there. So nothing to worry about there. And it would have been me. Yeah, it didn't happen, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, how do I approach this guy?
What do they look like?
Well, he's an Oread, which is from D&D terms would be an Earth Genasi. He's got
Ah,
his features, while they look like they should be blocky, seem way more polished because his skin is like smooth marble.
mm,
And I think like it's like a paler, like more gem sort of color, like maybe it's an emerald color. He's got like dark brown hair, almost black.
mm.
God, I don't know how to approach this guy. I'm a doctor, damn it. Not a diplomat.
Does he have any scarring, or perhaps like you start with a sales pitch?
Well, the one thing you know about him is he's from a colony here in the Drage system. Probably something your scanners missed when you guys passed through.
Mm. Ah, see, they have better stuff than us already. Oh yeah, so these are going to be the scared guys who want to set up relations so that they can get stuff, but still stay hidden from everybody else. Probably.
Yeah, Kirat will just walk up to him and ask him, are you enjoying the party?
He's like, he's like, it's all right, I guess. I'm not entirely certain why exactly I was invited here. So, I take it you're one of the hosts.
I am. My name is Dr. Kirad. I'm the head research and medical officer of this facility. As much of a facility it is at the moment.
He kind of chuckles. We all have to make do.
It's a starting point.
Mm. Sometimes that's what you need.
Yes. Tell, what do you do for a living?
Well, what I do? Well, mostly, yeah, mostly I work on a farm, but I was sent here to represent the interests of the colony. He was like, he goes, we not exactly sure why the elders decided to reach out, but your Captain Percival Worthy must have said something pretty good.
Yes,
Interesting.
apparently worthy. Is trusted by many. Must have
Glad
made
you
a
say
better
that.
impression on him than I thought. No, I'm just kidding.
I was wondering.
He's like, so, the